Well, thank you guys for talking today. Can you both just introduce yourselves maybe and what your roles are with Word Made Flesh?
Hello, everyone. Hello, Rach. My name is Doris, and I'm director of operation in Word Flash Bolivia, and welcome our ministry.
Oh, hi, I'm Andrea Baker. I'm the founder and executive director of Word Made Flesh here in Bolivia.
I really wish I was just there in that room with both of you.
Yeah.
Can you explain to us what Word Made Flesh is? What you guys do?
What is Word Made Flesh? Word Made Flesh is a ministry among prostituted women in El Alto, Bolivia, and a holistic ministry with their families and their children. So we do outreach on the streets. We have a drop-in center where women and children come for rest and play and growth and health and hopefully with tools for abundant living.
And how long ago did you guys originally start? And can you tell us a little bit about that, like the beginning of Word Made Flesh?
Word Made Flesh está desde hace 20 años en la ciudad del Alto.
Word Made Flesh started 20 years ago in the city of El Alto, Bolivia.
Ha sido fundado por Andrea y su esposo, y pues desde ya hace 20 años venimos trabajando, desarrollando actividades a favor de mujeres afectadas por la explotación sexual.
So it started with me and my husband, and 20 years ago, and it's grown to be a ministry among sexually exploited women and their children.
And I remember from visits in the past, you, Andrea, talking about those beginning days of you and Andy just going in and sitting with the women in the brothels. And at that time, did you, is this what you envisioned happening, or did you have any idea kind of what the direction was going to go?
Yeah, no. 20 years ago, I think we came here pretty idealistic, without really any understanding of trafficking or abuse or gender violence. We just kind of came with a heart to serve the poor. And we found a need in the red light district where the church wasn't present, and just started getting to know the women little by little, and meeting up with them for coffee or going to a doctor's appointment, sometimes coming to our home. And what has grown from there has been really just little pieces of growth over time, as we've seen need and we've had the capacity to be able to serve and grow in greater ways. But yeah, no, this was never anything we expected to do. I don't even think people had words for trafficking. We certainly didn't have any understanding or vocabulary of what that meant. We just found a place where the church wasn't all that present. And I don't know, we wanted to be able to serve in a way that where there was actually a real need.
A couple of things you said that I kind of want to follow up on, but do you now, 20 years later, how is the church responding? What do you see the church's involvement look like now versus then?
I think that we have somebody here that might be better to share about that. So I'm going to ask Lorena to jump in here and answer that, because she works directly with the churches.
Oh, nice.
This is our director of advocacy.
Oh, hello. My name is Lorena.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, well, as you asked, Andrea, I think that 20 years later, we keep trying to awake the church hearts to serve with us, responding a call, serve with us within the most vulnerable of our community. So, well, church has responded in many different ways. We try to involve them in very different kind of collaborative work with us. So we adapt to every single situation.
Yeah.
I think what I can say is it's been a constant challenge to work with the church here, or the church in general, just as the church not really knowing how or even why sometimes to be involved with the most vulnerable, and especially sexually exploited women. But we've seen a church that really is growing in a heart for women and for the vulnerable, internationally and locally. So we have volunteers, we have donations, like clothing or toy donations, or even monetary donations at some point, and visitors. And we've been able to kind of work with the church to know how to better receive and love vulnerable populations, without like causing more damage and exploitation in some ways. But yeah, it's growing, and thanks to Lorena, it's growing even more. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's encouraging to hear. As I know, just even in the however many years we've been, in like working together on some level, that has been a desire, obviously, of yours, to see that grow and to see just even the church locally there, respond more. So it's encouraging to hear that it is. And I know, and I get these kinds of questions a lot in general, and I'm sure you probably do too, but what would you say, like if someone's watching this and they're, a Christian in the States, how would you encourage them, I guess, to learn more, to get involved, or to work and respond well to people who are vulnerable?
We as the churches cannot work only within the walls, but the real work and the real mission is outside. So we invite them to work with us, because it's not only a work, but it's also a mission. It's our call as a church, not only for some people. And it's not only for some special people who has heard about a special need in society, but it's also awake their hearts to the most vulnerable and the poorest in society.
Yeah, absolutely.
What she said.
Good. It's good. And I love just how at the beginning that you just said, like, and that's because that's what Jesus did, Can you guys tell us, and I don't know, whoever wants to answer, whoever you think should answer, kind of explain the situation there, for someone who's not familiar with El Alto specifically, like why you chose to work there, and just kind of set up the scenario of what you're working within.
Yeah, we are in Bolivia as one of the poorest countries in South America. And in terms of violence against women, we're the number one.
The number one,
country in South America with violence against women. And so that what we've seen is that sexually exploited women have a history of poverty and abuse in their families. And so it kind of opens the door to sexual exploitation later in life. Our work is principally in the middle of El Alto, which is one of the more scandalous cities in Bolivia. And it has the largest concentrated red light district in the country. Our drop-in center is just a block outside of the red light district. So why are we here? We see a great need and a great possibility for transformation in this place.
How many, I know you told me before, but how many brothels are there around where you are?
Oh, okay. We're going to call in another person for you. Just a second.
on this area we have 12.
Okay, so this is Lenny. She is our women's program coordinator.
Hi, Lenny. I think we maybe have met before.
Yeah, we think a lot of Lenny because she's incredible with outreach and has a huge heart to reach women. So the question was, how many brothels are we?
How many brothels or how many women, whatever is easier, just kind of an estimate of what's.
Número de locales o mujeres con quienes trabajamos.
Yeah.
Bueno, hemos alcanzado casi específicamente 72 locales en la ciudad del Alto y en la ciudad de La Paz, al centro de salud de la ciudad del Alto y centro de salud de la ciudad de La Paz.
Okay, so she said we've been working with 72. 72 local brothels in the cities of
Wow.
and La Paz, including the local health center of El Alto and La Paz. El Alto and La Paz are kind of sister cities that we both work in.
And are you going into those brothels? Like, how frequently are you going into the brothels?
We go every week. Yeah, so how many women? ¿Cuántas mujeres?
Ya. En total, bueno, en estos 5 años hemos alcanzado como aproximadamente más de 6,000 mujeres que conocen ya de la Casa Esperanza.
Ooh, okay. Lenny said that in the last 5 years, we have reached on the streets over 6,000 women personally.
Y más o menos como de estas 6,000, podemos hablar de unas 1,000 y más todavía 1,500 que tenemos una relación que nos conoce, o sea, más profunda.
And so from that 6,000, we have a pretty significant relationship with about 1,500 women, she said.
Uh-huh. Y de estas mujeres, más o menos, el año pasado han llegado más de 200 mujeres a este lugar.
And then as active participants in our programming, maybe 200 women
Uh-huh.
last year. So she said, we are desiring to follow Jesus's example of not only reaching the multitudes, but working with smaller and smaller groups for further discipleship and growth. And then from that small group, like the 12 disciples, those women or children would be the ones to continue to expand, reaching out to others.
Y actualmente estas mujeres escogidas están de alguna manera animando a otras mujeres, ¿no? Que vienen aquí a la Casa Esperanza, ya sea por sus historias, compartiendo sus experiencias o el hecho de servirlas a las demás.
Yeah, and she's saying that, that it's actually happening, that quite a few women who have been participants of the program are coming back to serve, to volunteer, to encourage and support other women in their process.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about, like, and this might be someone else more, but I think because people have asked me this question, like what it's like to go into the brothels, like what that scenario is like. Okay, I'll just leave it with that question for now. What that's like to go into the brothels.
I think for us, restoration, transformation is the end goal. Mm-hmm. But I think the heart of our ministry is on the streets, being present to people in broken situations. And just being a loving, encouraging, honoring presence in places that can be really ugly and dark. And so our principal motivation in going to the brothels is simply that, a compassionate, loving presence. We specifically say that we don't go to rescue. We don't go to evangelize. We don't even go to offer an invitation, but we go to be with. And so what does that look like? It looks like prayer beforehand. And then we go to the streets and basically we just kind of walk in with authority to these brothels. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we get stopped at the door by administrators, but most of the time we just walk in like any other client would. And we follow the line of men that's making the rounds in the brothel. Most of the brothels are kind of like a long hallway with doors, lots of little doors where women are standing. And the rooms are very tiny, just enough for a twin bed and sometimes a little table and a trash can. And the women are typically standing inside the doorway, and the men are circling around a large, there might be a sitting area in the middle, but pretty much men are just kind of circling like as if they were shopping at the store. Mm-hmm. And we follow that line, and depending on how a woman responds to us, sometimes it's just a very simple greeting and maybe passing out a small gift or something. And sometimes we are able to just stand and talk with her a little bit more, like I'll often ask where she's from and I'll tell her that I'm from the States and do you have kids? I have kids. Oh, it's so hard being a mom. It's really cold tonight. How are you doing? Sometimes we can ask for prayer. Sometimes we can just say like, we are from this place. And if you would ever like to come to the House of Hope, sometimes she's really busy and she clearly kind of just greets us and we move on. And other times she's really broken or really lonely and just wants to talk. And so we can stand in the doorway for 15 minutes or more at a time. And sometimes we have really special moments where we're even invited into her room and we can sit and encourage and listen and even pray with her. I think we just try to go and be there and be obedient, and we trust the Lord to kind of move and guide us as we do that.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I've been able to go out with you, I think once or twice, but with the way in which you guys do that outreach, but all of your work is just done with such honor. And I think that's probably the thing that stands out to me the most is just like a humbling of yourselves and just really being with them exactly where they are and with where they want to go, and it's just, it's a really beautiful thing to see the way in which you guys do what you do.
Thank you.
I would love to see you around the center, but before we do that, is there anything that you guys would like to share that about what you're doing or just for people to have a greater understanding?
Yes, Doris would like to say something. She says, I really want to share with you about our children's program, which has been even more successful in the last year. So she wanted to tell you guys about that.
Sí, estaban compartiendo ellos en redes sociales, en televisión, así cómo prevenir la trata.
Okay, so our children's program works principally with and only with children of women in prostitution. So they're coming from environments that are very, where we see cycles of violence repeated and abuse and children who are at specific vulnerability to being exploited again. And so last year, it's kind of exciting that a group of adolescents was formed, like a group of leaders from our children's program. Our children's program serves like 150 children. But this group, ¿cuántos tenían?
25, bueno, tenemos a Alex.
Okay, so 25, Alex. So 25 of these student leaders started the group. Okay, this
Hello.
is Alex, who works
Hi.
with
Hello.
the teens, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about what this group does.
Awesome.
Ok, bueno, el grupo de líderes se llama 25.
Pero en inglés, pues.
I can't speak
Okay.
English very good.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so 25 student leaders.
Sí, el grupo se llama Cacharpay y es libertad.
So it's an indigenous word where that means freedom, the name of the group.
Y bueno, estamos trabajando en prevención del abuso, el tema de la trata, violencia, y para nosotros es un grato no poderte contar.
So this group is going to the streets and going on, they've been on TV, they've been on social media, speaking out against trafficking and violence and just helping raise awareness. So it's a group of, the whole children's program is for prevention, but I would say, these kids are working for to change not only their own futures, but other peers as well.
Y que estemos impactando de esta manera con jóvenes que han salido desde su vulnerabilidad al liderazgo, realmente es un orgullo.
He said, we're really proud of the fact that these kids are moving from a place of extreme vulnerability to being leaders in their community.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It is, I mean, truly amazing, honestly, when you think about that these are children, as you said, who are, their mothers are, I guess, in prostitution, right? And so, like you said, they're so vulnerable, and to be leading in this capacity is just remarkable when you think about breaking cycles and breaking them at that young age. It's just
Thank you.
really encouraging. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for
And
what
I think, oh, so we have one more person who we'd like to introduce.
Yes.
Yasmi, who leads our children's program and is the heart and soul of what's happening among the kids.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Hey, good to
Qué
see
bueno volver a verte, aunque por el Zoom.
you.
¿Quieres compartir algo del programa de niños?
Sí, claro. En realidad, estos 2 años de pandemia han sido oportunidades muy buenas para el programa de niños.
She said these 2 years of the pandemic have actually been a real interesting opportunity for the children's program.
Hemos podido alcanzar a varios niños de otros departamentos de Bolivia igual.
Because everything has kind of gone online, we've been able to reach children across the country.
Sí, acostumbrarnos como equipo, justo aquí está el equipo, a una modalidad virtual ha sido un gran desafío para nosotros.
It was challenging for our team to move into virtual, like learning how to manage technology and work virtually.
Con el equipo hablábamos que eran los 2 años de frutos, de ver los frutos.
But they're starting to see the fruit of so much investment and work that they've done.
Y muy contentos que Dios nos ha dado la oportunidad de ver los frutos de restauración en las familias.
And we're starting to see not only the fruit of restoration in each individual life, but in whole families.
Sí, en los procesos de los niños de 4 a 15 años con los cuales trabajamos, ¿no?
So we work, with kids from 4 to 15 years old.
Entonces, para mí es un placer compartir todo lo que un equipo hace por los chicos, por sus familias.
Yeah, and it's a joy to work with my team, with these kids. So did you want to see some of our spaces you said?
Yes, yeah, that'd be great.
So this is
Well done.
our meeting room. This is where we often have group meetings and more than anything, our devotional time.
Nice.
Okay, well, here.
And how many people total are on the team there?
In this time, it's 15 people. Yeah.
Okay.
18, 15.
Okay, right here, we have, this is important, right in front of you, you are seeing one of the largest brothels. I don't know if you can notice that there's a red door
Oh,
at the
yes.
bottom.
Uh-huh.
And then there's there's 2 or 3 floors that are without windows. Those are full of women right now. And then they're building an even larger building. Apparently there was going to be a sauna at the top level and an elevator going down and rooms full of girls in all those spaces. But we have this really big window right here just so we can remember kind
Yeah,
of why we're here.
absolutely. Wow.
This is a special place for us because in this place, women have therapy.
This is our therapy room. So it's an intimate, comfortable space with a window to the red light districts, which is helpful. And then here, this is, say hello. This is a room where we do a lot of workshops with larger groups of women. Here you can see space for the littlest ones. So while their moms are chatting at the table. The little ones are playing.
Wow.
And then in here is where a lot of group therapy and one-on-one meetings with the social workers happens.
This is the comedor. I don't know.
Like the dining room.
This is the
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Okay, so I'm gonna show you now. Hold on a second. I'm going to turn this around. Okay, this is our big gym play space. We do big meetings and the kids play here pretty often.
Oh, I love
Okay.
that.
And then we will go downstairs. Yeah.
Love that.
Okay, now we're down. This is the picture of Jesus with kiddos. Happy. Here's some more office space.
Nice.
Some more of our team. And then we have an educational space for the littlest ones.
Wow.
So,
Oh,
reading
so
them.
fun.
Play area, Montessori style, nice and big and open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible. How often are the kids there?
two times for a week. Yeah, the children come. The
Nice. That's great.
And did you remember, Rachel, that this place it was Sutisana?
Yes, I was thinking that exactly as you were walking in there. Yep.
Yeah, and now it's different. And now this place is for the teenagers. And
Nice. That's great.
the our teenagers have a good place, and they have more space and for different activities. And and this place it was in the pandemic it was really help for the teenagers because ellos pasaban clases aquí.
Because they had classes here online.
Yeah. Wow.
And then
I love
this is-
what you've done with that space. That's nice.
Yeah, and then just right here at the entrance of the building is a welcome room for the women before they have to go all the way up the stairs.
Oh, that's so
So-
nice too.
That's it. 5 floors for about 200 women and 150 kids.
That's really incredible, honestly. Just just the size of it, but to see it all and to see both of you and so many of the staff and just to hear about what you guys are doing. It's encouraging. I'm just truly so honored to know you guys and to be able to share this with others, and hopefully others can learn about what you do. And it's just really proud to know you both and proud of what you do. Grateful for
Well, we appreciate you guys too. And sticking with us through the long journey together. It's been a gift.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Anything else you want to add at the end? Last part.
Bueno, solo comentarte así súper rápido que
I just wanted to mention really quickly, Dory says.
como Sutisana ya no está, hemos trabajado mucho el año pasado en desarrollar un programa que pueda reemplazar a Sutisana.
Okay. Yeah, she's, so we started a social enterprise, a freedom business for women who wanted to leave the streets, to offer alternative employment for women who wanted something different in their life. Yeah, in addition to sewing in the workshop, Doris and her team have implemented like an economic development program that she's really proud of. It includes mentoring and small business startup and training.
Capacitación.
So
Y una financiera boliviana se ha comprometido con este programa.
And so it's a real, it's a major accomplishment for our team that we got local funding for this project specifically. In all sorts of ways we're growing.
Yeah.
65 personas han participado de esto entre mujeres y adolescentes porque es un programa para la familia.
So 65 women and youth have begun this process. And the best part, I think, is that there's also local volunteers who are serving as mentors for these 65 women and children. And so, it's another way that the local church has been able to get involved.
Y tenemos ahorita 5 emprendimientos que ya están empezando.
And so, they've started 5 small businesses already with our training and our financial support. Not just any woman would get support from us yet to start. So the women and children who the women and children who are participating in the economic empowerment program have already gone through the entire restoration program. Yeah.
This makes complete sense. For sure. Wow.
Yeah. I think in terms of like last comments, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, especially when you think, you're talking earlier about how when you came, your objective was just to love people and to be present with them. And now I just feel like your hands are like touching so many different realms when it comes to, the issue of exploitation, everything from kids to outreach, to advocacy, to restoration, to job. I mean, it's just quite amazing, honestly, all that you guys are doing and doing well, and just like really intentionally and thoughtfully. So,
oh, thank you. I think I feel like the Lord's been really faithful in just helping us grow little by little to be able to offer holistic opportunities, and hopefully that the essence of presence and compassion isn't lost with all of the other pieces. But yeah, I think we got really tired of, I don't know, it sounds bad in some ways, but like of only just being a loving presence, which I think has incredible value. But at the end of the day, I want to see you flourish too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that you've made, like you just said with that, you've been able to maintain that the heart of being present through each of the things that you've added on to it. So, yeah. And earlier, I think you wanted to say something. Was there something else that you wanted to say? I kind of cut you off, or were you?
Oh, I just appreciate the intentionality of your community of Third Ladder, and how you guys are still also in the fight after lots of heartache and brokenness as well. So I just appreciate you guys continuing to fight for the right things.
Thanks for saying that. It's our joy. We're passionate about it, and it's really just special to be able to continue relationships with people and organizations that we, love and respect. So we're very grateful to be where we are right now. So thank you.